Since yesterday, I arrived at the hotel here in Dahabon, and I've been thinking about my trip in Haiti, and I am trying to see if I am really going to make an evaluation, a true evaluation, an objective evaluation of that trip. What would I say? So all last night I've been thinking about that. The objective, there were really two clear objectives for the trip. First of all, our uh, our well rig that was in Haiti and that was going to start the digging of a well in Petit Guave. After so much trouble dealing with that for 2 years, I didn't want to miss such a great event for Great Score. The second objective of my trip was to organize a conference in the northern part of Haiti and see how I can encourage the pastors and leaders of the church, Sunday school teachers and other people of the church, how I could encourage them to understand the role they could play in the development of Haiti. I can say truly that I have reached both objectives. I was able to be there when we were starting to dig the well, and then I was also happy to have the teachers, the pastors in the region of Lacule come to the conference and talk to them about the role the church could play, should play, has to play in the development of Haiti. As I mentioned to them, there is absolutely no way this country can develop without the church. But I also explained to them we had to do the diagnosis of the problem. And it's not a very good diagnosis. We had to admit the fact that in many ways the church has failed its mission. I grew up, as I mentioned to them, I grew up in Bolos. My church is one of the largest of Port-au-Prince, maybe today 3,000 members. I don't know exactly. But it's one of the mega churches of Haiti. It started, my uncle was among the first pastors, if not the first pastor of that church, Dr. Claude Noel. So when I was growing up, we had the American missionaries all over the campus of the church, and they were all, always, most of the time, 95% of the time, you will see them in their cars. They never intermingle with the people. Never. Nothing like William Carey. I think I got the name right. Who was in India. If I'm mistaken, you can correct me. Or Hudson Taylor. Probably he was the one in India. But these guys, they intermingle with the people. They got themselves immersed in the cultures, and that was part of the teaching. That was part of the gospel. It was not just the Bible. It was not just teaching them about teaching people about salvation. It was also identifying with the folks in order to tell them about Jesus Christ. Unless you identify with the people that you are attracting to the gospel, you are not going to be effective. Now, they were in many ways very effective. They started a Bible school that is still running. I want to believe that it's still there. Then that became a theological seminary, which is a step in Port-au-Prince, one of those that are quite respected in Port-au-Prince, in Haiti as a whole. But those Americans, they drew quite a big line between their lives and our lives. It was so distinctive, the way they lived and the way we were growing up living. So we couldn't, as kids, we couldn't go across the campus. You had people that they appointed, other Haitian guys, that were, their job was really to stop us from walking throughout the campus and as we please. We couldn't do that. They were really living in America while they were in Haiti. And as I mentioned, I speculated. What I said was not exactly things that I know for fact, but I think I have good reason to believe that it could be a fact that some of these young folks that are thugs and bandits right now that have taken over that missionary campus, they have taken it over. Some of them are either among those that were there looking through the barbed wires that separated the American campus from the rest of Haiti, or it was their mom or dad. You know, I don't know Tilapli, as they call Little Rain. I don't know his name, the leader of that group that has taken over the campus. I don't know. But one thing I know, there is a good chance that they have taken it over because of a long-seated grudge that they had against the opulence, the apparent opulence of that campus, of the people living on that campus. And later on, it was not just the Americans, it was the Haitians also living in there. There was very little done, I think, and I stand to be corrected, because I left Haiti in 1985, so a lot of it A lot of stuff may have happened that I am not aware of, but they can correct me easily. I don't have a problem with that. Whatever I'm saying to start a conversation, not to impose my own reading on anything. But all I am saying is that those folks that have taken over the campus in Port-au-Prince, the American missionary campus of my church, there's a good chance that these guys could be those who were standing, on the fence looking over at American missionaries having fun, American children, very few of them. Only one I can remember, his name was Peter. He was really deep into Haitian culture. He used to go from the campus all the way down to Sudal, close to my house, to buy food from the street merchants. So, of all of them that I've known along the years, he's the only one, as an American child, that I can remember who was able to cross the line and go get his food, at our type of McDonald's. That's the way I see it. So the church need to repair that. I really believe that we cannot discriminate that way. We are not going to have an impact on Haiti. The church is the only institution that has still in Haiti some moral bearing on Haitians' life. I believe that's the only institution that can still tell Haitians how to live their lives. The government has failed completely. We don't have one right now. 9 members of a presidential college, each of them consider themselves to be a president, and instead of dividing the salary of one president among the 9 of them, the salary was multiplied by 9, if not even more, so that every one of them would get a presidential salary, a president salary. That is crazy in a poor country like Haiti. So that was the stuff that I was talking about. But I was also telling them about the environmental disaster that Haiti is facing right now. All the plastic everywhere, littering every part of cities. We as a church got to say something. We got to do something. If we still need our respect as an institution, we have to do something. So that is what took me to Haiti, to encourage them to preach the gospel, but I call it the total gospel, not just verses in the Bible, not just the Bible itself, but to say things about the social problems of Haiti, to be brave, to be evangelistic bandits, we say, to be brave, not to be afraid. to be able to go places that people will dare not go to. We need to, that's the type of church we need in Haiti right now. Not a political, not primarily political, but very much aware, socially, ready to, for example, to finish, let me say this. Where I was in Grisons-Garde, around La Cule, in the north, they got 14 wells that were dug around the village. 14 wells. And what happened? Of these 14, only 4 are still working. In fact, there is one of them that I have a picture of that people were standing waiting to get water from. Before I left, it was out of order. That's how quickly they can go out of order. Of at least 20 wells that I've seen, I must have seen probably 5 that were still working. So why in the world would any organization dig a well but not seeking the funds to have a reservoir? Why is it that the folks got to go to the well and pump the water? We are in the 21st century. It is about time that something is done about that. So, for us, Great Score, for every well that we dig, we will make sure that, maybe not everyone, but at least for 2, 3, 4 wells that we dig in an area, we will make sure that there is a reservoir where the water can go. So that the folks will not have to be pumping. It's the mechanical problem of pumping the water that is making those wells completely useless. It's not, they are still providing water, but nobody is pumping the water because the pumps have gone completely dismantled in some instances, completely dismantled. So I hope you understand how crucial my trip was to Haiti, to me, to Great Score, to the folks in Haiti, to the church in Haiti, and God was there with me the whole time. I never felt any threat. I didn't feel I was taking a risk by going to Haiti. Folks were concerned about my life. I was not, because I'm really at my Savior's mercy. Whatever happened will be something that he has ordered. Nothing can happen to me that he didn't want to happen to me. So I am happy, though, that now I can take a shower. I don't have to to have a bucket brought to me and taking the water with a little ball to pour over my head. When I came here at the hotel here in the Dominican Republic, and I saw a shower, I said, "Oh, for over a month, I had forgotten that there was such a thing as a shower. A wheel toilet, a wheel flushing toilet. That is so good. not to have to smell anything, you know. But still here there are some mosquitoes, maybe one or two in my room here. But overall, it was a great trip. I will take another one, if I could, pretty soon. Thank you, and that's not all. That's my summary of my evaluation of the trip, but I'm sure I will have more to say before we wrap it up completely. Thank you.